What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I want to tell you that everything is hard. Everything that's going to happen to you is going to be hard one way or another. You cannot escape it. You'll never gain the ability to be able to avoid whatever it is you're trying to avoid. You just think you will because you don't realize that different scenarios that you are in are just synonymous with what you were trying to avoid. Like, it's always going to come to fruition because this is the real world. This is life. It's not perfect. So every time you try to control the outcome, right? You don't want to go to the gym, for example. Let's use that as your example. Let's say you had a long day at work and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to go to the gym. And you're doing this in hopes of comforting yourself, right? You're tired. The last thing you want to do is go to the gym because you had a stressful day at work. And you're like, that's hard. Like, I don't want to make myself do more hard things. I already had a hard day at work. And you think that staying behind or resting or skipping is going to benefit you. And let's say you make that decision quite often, right? Because you don't want to do the difficult task, which is human nature. So you're not at fault there. You're going to experience the hard later when there's a million scenarios I can think of, both mentally or even physically. Like, let's say you have a kid, maybe, and you can't keep up with little Timmy at soccer practice because you've been saying after work you're too damn tired to go to the gym. And so your health is now suffering. So not even talking about the way that you look, right? Your health is suffering. Your muscles are smaller, not as able to perform because you haven't been utilizing them. And if you don't use it, then you're going to lose it. And that's true. So you have a kid, and you've been working so hard at work. But when it's time to step up and be coach, because a lot of that is a volunteer position, so you step up and be coach and you can't do it because you're not spry anymore. You haven't been training. You haven't been prioritizing your health. You've been sedentary at a desk. Then you come home and you're relaxing or whatever it is that you're doing because you had a hard day and you think that that's helping. But let's say that's not even the scenario for you. Let's say the scenario for you is you've been putting it off and you've probably been eating like shit because you've been stressed out with work. So if you can't go to the gym, then food is always the harder part. So you're probably not paying attention to what you're eating. And you're going out to a happy hour maybe after work. Maybe you're going to a work dinner. Maybe you're taking a girl on a date, taking a guy on a date, or a guy's taking you on a date, whatever. And you are getting ready. And you hate every outfit that you put on. Nothing fits right. You are frustrated and you just don't like the way that you look in the mirror and you're unhappy with it. And so you go into the event or to the date or to the outing and you're self-conscious, so you're a little bit less confident. Maybe you're tugging at your shirt because it's catching on some excess fat that you've accrued. Maybe it doesn't fit your arms the way that you like. Maybe your arms are a little bit flabby. So now the amount of enjoyment you feel out at the event is ruined, whether you like it or not. You can sit here and you can tell me all day that you don't care about how you look. It will plate your confidence. You will be more confident if you show yourself every day that, hey, even when shit is hard, I'm still going to do what I need to do. And that in turn will also fix the physique. But then also, you will feel confident in yourself. So it's like, yes, you'll feel confident because you look better. But anyone who shows up, even when pretty much the odds are against them, they're going to be a confident person. I can tell you that right now. And those two scenarios right there, whether you can't keep up with your kids or you can't go out and have a good time because you're worried about what you look like or because your outfit doesn't fit right or whatever, those things reduce your quality of life. And that feeling of inadequacy, insecurity that you're going to feel because you decided to avoid the hard things in the moment is still hard. So newsflash, everything is hard. There's no like, oh, easy route, hard route. There is either I willingly subject myself to hard things and I accept that life is fucking hard and I take control, or I try to always find the easy option and then I experience a hard life. I experience painful, I experience painful situations or emotions or times where I wished that past me had prioritized their health, their body, their physique, their confidence. See, there's no escape, as much as that may sound constricting or confining you to a box. You're a human being. This is the real world. Life is hard. Like it will be. You cannot escape it. And if you make an easy life, you'll have a hard mindset. You'll have a hard environment up here. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be, you're not going to be fulfilled. So as much as you think choosing easy will make things easy, it will not. Choosing easy will make it hard. Choosing hard still means you have to do hard things, but at least you will be enjoying it. At least you will be fulfilled. At least you will be proud. At least you will be pursuing a purpose. Because as much as the brain makes you think you want comfort and you want to take it easy, it really thrives off pursuing a challenge, pursuing a goal. Yes, it's a really hard battle, and I talk about this all the time, but one of the greatest skills that you can develop is the ability to lead yourself. And when you start at the very beginning learning to lead yourself, you have to understand that human nature is to run when things get difficult, when things get uncomfortable, when things change, but also understand that on the other side of that, you as a human being know where you want to be. You know where you're at, you know where you want to go, you have a general scope of what you need to do to get there. It's your job, knowing those things, to still move forward anyways, to tell yourself, hey, it's in your blood, it's in your psychology to not want to do this, but we know where we want to go. We need to do it. That is everything, and you have to do this in achieving any goal. Fuck fitness. Let's say we're not even talking about fitness, we're not even talking about health. Anything that is difficult. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Anything that's difficult, anything that is hard, anything that requires patience, anything that requires suffering, anything that requires sacrifice, those are the things that are worthwhile. Anything that is easy, anything that is quick, may feel good in the moment, but immediately after, you'll feel guilt, you'll feel shame, you'll feel unfulfilled, and you'll look for the next thing that you can chase. If the suffering comes after the dopamine or the satisfaction, you're setting yourself up in one of those nasty self-sabotaging cycles. So let's say you do something right now that makes you feel great, and then afterwards you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Because usually anything that you're supposed to be doing, anything that you're supposed to be doing, I'm saying supposed to be in terms of getting you where you want to be, prioritizing health, prioritizing your physique, prioritizing your wellness, prioritizing your long-term goals. The things that you need to do to get there typically require you to suffer in the moment, to do something hard in the moment, and then feel the dopamine, the happiness, the satisfaction afterwards. The things that we should not be doing, typically we feel the satisfaction, the dopamine, the thing that we want first, and then afterwards we feel maybe a little bit of regret, maybe a little bit of shame. Maybe if we have a really negative relationship with ourselves, with food, with our body, with anything, maybe we'll even kick ourselves a little bit about it, knowing we shouldn't have done it. And one of the biggest struggles that I went through, which is kind of helping me realize this, and unfortunately it's only something that you realize after the fact, which is why I'm trying to tell you, to hopefully give you some reassurance or affirmation that if you are going through something tough, if you are going through something that feels like it's knocking you on your ass, if you are going through something difficult, you are on the right track. That is not a bad thing. That is quite literally the best thing that can happen to you. Adversity is the only thing that makes you stronger, and when you choose an easy life, you will have no fulfillment, no purpose. When you choose a hard life, you will feel satisfied because the brain loves to chase. It loves to pursue goals. It loves to constantly be working towards something, as much as it may want you to sit on the couch all day or rot or skip the gym, skip whatever it is that you need to do. But anyways, the reason why I'm saying this, again, something that I had learned after the fact, is that I spent a lot of time when I was younger trying to find easy. And that was a mistake because there is no easy. That's not possible. And I wondered why things were so hard, and I thought that, I just haven't found the cheat code. I haven't found the secret. I haven't found the fast track. I haven't found those things. I was searching for something that didn't exist. And it wasn't until I reached a point of, okay, I must be looking at this wrong. Something must be wrong with my perspective. Maybe I need to take a different approach. And I started questioning everything that I thought to be true. Because my brain would tell me, you can't do that. That's not the way. That's whatever. Just because it didn't want to do something hard. My brain would literally tell me, no, that's wrong. Because it was difficult. And because I made that connection that difficulty meant wrong, I wasn't really going anywhere. I wasn't making any progress. And so I had to almost analyze everything that I thought, every decision that I make, and take a few steps back and be like, why do you think that? Is that true? Because I was like, hold on. What I'm doing now, the circumstances that I have, I don't like them. I've seen other people achieve this, so clearly it's possible. It's humanly possible. I've seen someone do it. What am I missing? I am missing something that's right in front of me that I'm not picking up on. And it wasn't some diet that I was missing. Yeah, my diet got a lot better as I learned more, of course, over the years. And of course, coaching people, you learn at a much faster rate. The growth is exponential when you have that much more data to analyze. But it wasn't a diet I was missing. It wasn't some workout regimen. It wasn't some cardio regimen that I was missing, or some supplement or some powder or some peptide. It was just the way that I thought about things. It was the connections that I had made and the correlations. Difficulty meant wrong, so it means I need to stop and turn around. Hard things, pain, discomfort meant red flag, meant I needed to turn around. All of those things that I had thought to be true was exactly what kept me stuck. And so, as much as I love to talk about nutrition and your training split and a lot of the things that I do for my clients and stuff like that, this is a fundamental change that I don't think many people are making. And I think it's for two reasons. Sometimes people hear mindset and they think, oh, it's just woo-woo bullshit. No, I want tactical advice. I need to start using a different word because it's psychological. It is neuroscience. Your brain is wired a certain way, and that has led you where you are now. If you don't like where you are now, maybe you haven't been paying attention all your life, and now you're just like, whoa, I need to make a change. You got to look at your brain. You got to look at, what am I wired to believe? What do I think? Why does this happen? And then I do these actions. You have many mental weaknesses that keep you where you're stuck or keep you where you're at. Every time a mental weakness is triggered, you do a series of patterns that lead to have the result that you have, the life that you live, the body that you have, all of it. So you need to analyze, hey, why did I do that? Why did I think that? Before you even try to say, okay, I'm going to eat in a calorie deficit. Yes, you can do them, they can coincide with each other, but don't think that just looking at food and eating less and training every day and doing all this cardio is going to magically make you transform into the person that you want to be. You may see changes in your physique, yes, but will they be sustainable? No, because you're not developing the mindset of someone who is that person. You're almost like putting it on as your Halloween costume because you're going to be able to stick to it for 2 months, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. Maybe you can really push through. But at the end of the day, the same problems or weaknesses that you have up here will keep coming to fruition. And then that's how people burn out because they're battling problem after problem after problem. It's like stepping on a rake. You step on the rake and the handle comes up at your face and you push it down. And you're like, whew, close one. Good thing I solved that problem. You take another step right on the rake. Hit it, push it down. Whew, close one, I solved that problem. And every day you're just stepping on this rake and it keeps coming up. How about you move your foot and you step to the right where the rake is not at? Or maybe you step to the left, or maybe you take a step back and you turn. Whatever the fuck you do. But everyone is exploring the fact, they're like, oh, patting my back because I knocked the handle of the rake down, but you keep fucking stepping on it. Fix the root problem, fix the root cause. And so when you understand that you can train your brain similarly to how you train a muscle, you can sit here and whoever you want to be, maybe you want to be more patient, maybe you want to be more confident, you want to be more disciplined, you want to be more consistent, you can train yourself to be that way. And when it comes to transforming your physique, you can train yourself through nutrition, through the gym, through cardio, and that is how you use those things to not only train your body, but also your mind so you can stick to it and it then becomes your lifestyle. Because the end goal is always for your lifestyle, the way that you live, the way that you think, who you are to equal the physique. Whenever who you are doesn't equal the physique that you want, you need to develop yourself, and you can develop yourself utilizing training and nutrition, and then you will have a physique. Anytime you aren't developed and you're chasing or you're trying to maintain a physique without developing yourself, you will burn out, and that's why it feels so hard. And I think I heard someone maybe on Instagram or TikTok say, if your dream body is a nightmare to maintain, then it's not your dream body, or something like that. If you want your body to be easier to maintain, become a person that can handle more. Become stronger, become mentally stronger, because it's not easy. Being fit, maintaining that, choosing to develop yourself, choosing to be strong isn't an easy feat. It's not. If it was, everyone would be fit. Everyone would do it. Now, partly people just don't do it because they don't understand. or they don't really know what to do, which is fine. There's plenty of information out there that they can learn and then implement, and they're good to go. But the people that are mentally weak, that struggle with discipline, consistency, mental fortitude, emotional regulation, things like that, and being able to handle tough shit and move forward, the information won't solve any of their problems. Because you can sit here and you can look at the best foods to eat, when you should eat your carbs, when you should place your fats, when you should time your fiber, when you should do whatever it is, when you should have protein, what kind of protein and why, and whatever is best for your digestion, for your health, for your blood work, all that stuff. You can look at the best training split to develop whatever you want to develop in your physique. But at the end of the day, if you can't develop your mind to be, or if you can't develop yourself to be someone who adheres to something for a long period of time, so developing yourself to be someone who is patient, who is disciplined, who is consistent, and probably a laundry list of other things that I can mention, you will never be able to keep that up. That perfect diet that you have, that perfect training split that you have. You'll never be able to keep that up, no matter how hard you try, because you're not growing as a person. And eventually you'll wonder, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know why it stopped working. And I'm just going to give up because it's not for me. It's not that it wasn't for you. It's just that you aren't focusing on becoming the best version of you possible. You're focusing on the physical things. You're focusing on blocking the handle when you step on the rake, rather than stepping to the side. And that's why most people fail. And you got to remember, like, as much as I've learned this from my own journey and going through it, almost every single day, I get a DM, sometimes a comment, or clients come to me on the phone, and this is one of their biggest struggles. And no one has ever come to me and said they've never tried. Everyone has tried. Everyone is probably trying. So just because you try and you put in a lot of effort doesn't mean it's going to work if you don't fundamentally understand, hey, how did I get in this position where I'm trying this hard to get out of it? How did I get here? What led up to this? Because if you're, let's say, maybe like 30, maybe 35, maybe you're 25, wherever you're at, you've spent pretty much the first 25 years of your life, 35 years of your life, 30 years of your life getting yourself to this point. So that shit is ingrained in your brain, and you need to figure out, okay, what happened? Why am I here? What is it that I'm doing? Now, this is equivalent to trying to step in a different direction of the rake. This is where we're figuring out the root cause. This is what we're looking at. Instead of just being like, okay, I don't like where I'm at. Okay, I'm going to do 2 hours of cardio a day. I'm going to eat damn near nothing. I'm going to be in the steepest calorie deficit on earth. And then I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week because I just want results so fast because I'm really insecure in myself. That is the equivalent to blocking the handle from hitting you in the face, but continuously stepping on the rake. Now, like I said, these things can coincide. You can train your mentality utilizing training, nutrition, and then other things to get you towards another goal. Maybe you want to be a better speaker, so every single day you practice reading out loud, and you do it even on the days when you don't want to, and you do it even when you feel like you don't have enough time, or you make time for it, whatever. That still trains that part of yourself, and it's not necessarily a fitness goal, but that is how you get your mind and body to be aligned, and then it becomes sustainable. Because you can get results, but without this method, you won't be able to sustain them. And I'm saying that as someone who did the other method first, of focusing on training, nutrition, doing cardio all the time, training every single day, eating relatively really low calorie, and then getting the results. Like, in that period of time, I was really eager to get results because I was unhappy with the physical things that I saw on the outside. And I think that insecurity in me of what I saw in the mirror made me be not the best version of me. I was internally frustrated, and so naturally my fuse was short. I was very impatient, and it was almost like a dam waiting to break. Because every morning I look in the mirror, clothes don't fit right. I used to wear baggy t-shirts that like covered almost the end of my shorts. And then I would always try to, like, I don't know if you guys will get it, but whenever I would like take a picture or a photo, I would always like go like this, or I would like do something with my mouth to not just be like resting. Because when you rest or whatever, it would like make my face look really chubby. So if I went like that or something, it would kind of elongate my jaw and I wouldn't feel as insecure. Or I would do things like, I'm sure you guys have seen the picture if you're if you're a subscriber or something, or if you follow me on Instagram or whatever, but I'll put it right here. I was drunk in this picture, and I was doing that thing with my arm where I'm covering my chin and trying to cover my stomach because I was insecure. And I was drunk. So it's like subconsciously, like that's just how I felt about myself. And then led for me to be not a good person. Not even not a good person. I was just frustrated. Like, I would not feel confident in myself because of that. Not only because of the physique, but because there were so many days where I said I was going to do something and I didn't, and that led for me to have the physique. So those two things coming together made me feel this immense amount of insecurity in myself, where it affected my quality of life. And like going out with my friends wasn't necessarily enjoyable. I didn't want to be in any pictures. I hated getting ready. I would put off getting ready till the very last minute because I didn't like the way anything fit me. I didn't like the way that I looked in the mirror. I didn't like how my face looked when I was just resting. And as much as I could have sat there and told myself, oh, it's not that bad, and just not taken pictures, not looked at it, it got to a point where I was like, this isn't who I want to be. The person that I want to be, the one that is patient, the one that is consistent, the one that is disciplined, the one that is strong, doesn't have this kind of physique, and doesn't feel this immense insecurity in herself. And that was the turning point that led for me to take that really unrealistic approach, incorrect approach, where I did cardio all the time. I did an extremely low calorie deficit. I trained every single day because I was rooted in that insecurity, and it kept me from thinking logically. And because I felt that immense combination of emotions, I set myself up for failure. So I crash dieted for like 3 months, ended up seeing my abs, ended up getting lean. I was like, oh, perfect, it works. But my mental health was out of whack. I still felt the same. And I thought it was going to fix all my problems by getting lean. Did not fix all my problems. And it was something I couldn't sustain. I could not sustain that. It got to a point where I was like, okay, super heavy restriction, stop losing weight. And I was like, what am I going to do? Go lower? Like, that's damn near nothing. I can't do that. So inevitably, I rebounded pretty hard, and I struggled mentally trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? I didn't understand at the time that training my brain or training myself to be stronger was choosing the harder option. And to many other people, they'd be like, oh, going to the gym every day, doing 2 hours of cardio, doing your calorie deficit or whatever, that is hard. That's your good job. But it wasn't, because for me, in my situation, the harder option would have been patience. I shouldn't have been in a rush to lose weight. I should have taken the time to build a good physique. I should have just put myself in a normal calorie deficit, taken time to understand my body, taken more time to analyze the data, taking more time to understand just what works best for me. Instead of training every single day, I should have trained maybe 4 to 5 days a week. The reason why and I shouldn't have been doing 2 hours of cardio, I should have been doing maybe 30 minutes, maybe 35. And while it may seem like I was doing the hard thing, the thing I should have done in that moment was patience. I should have been okay with taking the long route because it was the sustainable route. I shouldn't have been in a rush. I shouldn't have been rooted in insecurity. I shouldn't have been desperate for a result, because at the end of the day, you're not training your mindset by doing that. You're not training your mindset if you are crash dieting, if you are looking for a supplement to solve your problems, if you're trying to train every day to get a faster result. You are just trying to get a quick fix. And that is the problem. When you focus on training your mindset to be patient, to be better at handling your emotions, your insecurity, and solving them, and being tactical when it comes to figuring out why you do the things that you do, that's when you'll actually get the results and keep them. That's when you'll be able to have a healthy body and a healthy mind. You're the only one that can tell when your brain is fighting you, when your brain is pushing back, when your brain doesn't want to do a certain thing. And you need to explore why your brain doesn't want to do the things that it wants to do. Why doesn't it want to be patient? Why does it want to take this approach? The greatest skill that you can develop is the ability to lead yourself. And in order to lead yourself, you must understand yourself. Why do you do the things that you do? Fundamentally, who are you? Do not be stuck as that person stepping on the rake and continuously just blocking the handle from hitting you in the face. Be the person who steps on it once, learns from it, or maybe you learn from this video and you take a step to the side, to the right, to the left, wherever you go. Be the person who learns from the mistakes, who's able to make decisions out of logic, not out of desperation, not out of insecurity, and you will eventually be able to get the results and keep the results. Like I said at the beginning of this video, everything is hard. Like I say in most videos, do hard shit and be confident. If you want to work with me one-on-one for coaching, I will leave the application in the description of this video. If you're a good fit, I'll personally be reaching out to you. If you have any questions, I will leave my Instagram link in the description of this video. You can shoot me a message and I'll get back to you with a voice message. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget how much I'm rooting for you and how much I love you guys. I will see y'all in the next one.